welcome to our spoiler-filled, spoilerific, uncut, unedited, raw Godzilla 2014 video. This is the third time we've made a video talking about, this video is going to be long and probably just rambling anyway, but we filmed along with you after we got back last night from Godzilla, and I just didn't want it to go on too long, and I have already posted a shorter review. It's about 8 minutes long, so if you want to check out our spoiler-free review, you can do that. It's on my channel. And Connie was going on and on and on, and she was getting excited about the film and stuff, and I was just sat there like, and I just came across a total dick, and I just felt really bad about it. And I could admit that. I can admit to you that I was a dick in that moment by getting all, mopey about it.
I was excited and stuff, and he just went like...
Yeah, I was being a sourpuss because I want the video to be not that long, and it ended up being like 20 minutes. But as much as I'll admit that I was, it's a whole other thing to put it online. I just couldn't quite do it. I just felt really bad. So anyway, we're gonna redo it now.
Let's just do the Godzilla review.
Yeah, it won't be the same, but still we're really fresh off seeing it. Yeah. And also, just to preface this, I was thinking about making a video about this as well, but I'll just leave it. But we did watch today Godzilla '98 and Godzilla the original from 1954. So very very briefly, what did you think of Godzilla '98 now that you watched it in 2014?
It's still enjoyable to an extent.
To an extent, but there's some things about it you just go, ugh. And obviously, hardcore Godzilla fans, it's not a Godzilla film.
Well, no, I understand that, but still, back then it was, and still is, kind of, it's all about CGI, it's all about humor inside of the action. Yeah. And they did all of that right. I mean, sure, '98, they hadn't come that far with CGI. Looking at it now, it's really not that good. There are a lot of plot holes, which I see now. Back then, I think the last time I saw it, I was 16 or something. Yeah. And I was listening to Puff Daddy's song "Come With Me" all the time. Did-a-dunk, did-a-dunk.
I was more of a fan of the Jamiroquai song. Anyway, yeah. So
yeah, and but looking at it now with different eyes, I think that the shots are really good in it. A lot of them, at least. Like, angles and so on. I mean, this movie is being trashed a lot. It's not horrible.
No, I wouldn't say it is.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, it's not amazing. Yeah, no, it's not even great.
The characters aren't written that well. It's
and there's still a lot from Jurassic Park, like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, we watched the Honest trailer, which just came out recently, and it really highlights that a lot of it is very derivative of Jurassic Park.
And I saw a lot of extra things as well, like when Godzilla's little babies are eating the people in Madison Square Garden, and the camera just sees like the tails go, and they do that in Jurassic Park 2 as well. But I don't know if that one came first though.
Yeah,
Jurassic Park 2 came first, right?
Oh no, they both came out in 1998, so I'm not sure with that one.
Anyways,
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The acting of the girl, obviously not good, but
no, the female lead was atrocious.
I think it's funny how many Simpson character voices are in it.
Yeah, three main Simpsons voice actors are in it.
They're almost all of them.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I think Roland Emmerich has a very specific style of movie that he's kind of made. At Independence Day, it was a Godzilla movie made by Roland Emmerich, and that's how it turned out. And I enjoy his movies, even if they're not great. Like 2012, Day After Tomorrow, and all that. But yeah, anyway, it's okay. It's enjoyable. I loved it when I was a kid, but now looking at it, it's just like, it's not great.
But you enjoyed it.
Yeah, the original Godzilla, I love it. I think it's a classic. It's very well made for its time, and just, it's very serious story, very serious subject matter. I love the way that they did all the special effects back in that time, 60 years ago. When
yeah,
the 60th
that's
anniversary.
Really impressive, I think.
It is a slow film though. It's quite a slow burn, and a character-driven piece at times, but and
yeah, like watching James Rolfe's review yesterday, I kept thinking about what he said about there being a lot of just humans in Godzilla not getting a lot of screen time in a way, and I was thinking, well, it's the exact same thing right now. You gotta know what's going on with the humans anyways.
Yeah.
But at least I didn't feel that much like as bad for Godzilla in this one.
Yeah. Yeah, in the original Godzilla,
He's
it's
mean.
much more straightforward monster. That's, you know, but there's also like lots of, it's kind of hinting at the, you know, the nuclear kind of thing that was going on back then, you know, with the bombs being dropped and the atom bomb, you know, as I just said. And so it's kind of a, I don't know what the exact word is, but it's meant to really kind of be a commentary on that almost, of this kind of nuclear fear and everything and the fallout from all that. And but yeah.
I like how it ended. I think I sometimes forgot how old the movie was. And so I was like, oh, okay. I just got into it.
Very somber ending. Do you know, it's funny because we watched the new Godzilla yesterday, 2014, and I've heard people compare it to Jurassic Park and Jaws. Jaws in that you don't see Godzilla until, you know, like quite a bit through the movie, and the way that, you know, it doesn't give it too much away too soon. Jurassic Park in terms of just like, you know, the scope and everything and just the way it was filmed. When we watched Godzilla 98, I was obviously very much reminded of Jurassic Park. And towards the end of Godzilla from 54, I was reminded of Jaws when they go down into the, you know, into the water. And of course, because Godzilla's in the water and stuff. But anyway, yeah, what did you think? You know, did you enjoy it, even though it was an old film and it's slow? And yeah,
I enjoyed it. It wasn't that slow, really. Because not only did I enjoy it as a Godzilla movie, and the fact that they did you even call it CGI back then? Because they just cut things together.
Yeah,
it's not really computer generated.
No.
It looks like they actually cut it into. It was very old fashioned the way it was filmed and edited.
And
I also enjoyed it as a Japanese movie. So it was like 3+ for me.
And there's a couple of shots of these cars crashing. Instead of filming actual cars, it was just models with stop motion animation. It looked terrible, but it's kind of, it's what James Rolfe always says. It lets you in on the fact that of how it's made, kind of thing. You almost appreciate it because you can see how it's done.
Yeah,
and you have an appreciation for it. Yeah.
When you watch a movie nowadays, you
certain
sometimes forget how probably 80% of all action movies nowadays are just made and drawn.
Yeah.
Drawn? It's been drew. They draw it in the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
And back then you had to use models and stuff, and you could tell a lot of the time that it was models. Yeah. And that it was a dude in a rubber suit.
I love the models and the...
That was one thing that kind of bothered me, though. How when the guy in a rubber suit was... when Godzilla was underwater, he was just moving around as if he wasn't, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't...
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't breathe or something, because he sleeps underwater.
Well,
I'm kind of confused about that. How does he breathe? Does he have lungs? Obviously, he has a heart, and he's got intestines, and a skeleton.
Yeah.
But how does he function underwater? And when he was moving around, it was just normal. Also, sometimes he was moving too fast, like he was trying to hit away the helicopters or whatever.
Yeah, there's these...
And sometimes he just went... like really fast, but something that big wouldn't go that fast. It would be like...
These planes are coming in and shooting Godzilla in this awesome scene where he's just like using his atomic breath to just destroy like Tokyo. There's just fire everywhere. It's a huge sequence. And these planes are firing at him. And he's almost kind of like, come on. It's like, this is almost like
it looked like he was trying to box him.
Come on.
But he was... I think that was the only time where I really noticed that he was moving too fast to be such a big creature, and maybe you should have kept that in mind, but it's 54.
Anyway, classic movie. I loved it, and the
underwater thing.
Was a good, it was a good way to round off our kind of Godzilla weekend, I guess you could say. So, as you can see now, 9 minutes we've already rambled on about
That's
those
two movies, though.
Well, I know, it is pretty good. So yeah, Godzilla 2014. Let's just start at the beginning, you know. I thought the credits were awesome. Great credit sequence.
Some people complain about that. I don't know why.
Did they? I don't know.
You said that some people complain about why is there credits? It's a 2014 movie.
I didn't say. I must have read that somewhere else. But anyway, yeah.
In the credits, you have the names and you have what part they have in the movie or whatever. But there was a lot more around the names and their part in the movie, and that kind of got like erased in a way, or like blocked off with white or black parts. And I enjoyed that because I was like, oh, I want to read it. And every time a name popped up.
I think we should just assume that like whoever's watching this has seen the film, and so we don't need to describe it into that much detail.
No,
But,
I just noticed that, and I thought it was.
Yeah, it was really cool. I like that. I was also looking to see what was said, and was thinking when I get the Blu-ray, I'll pause it just to see. So yeah, the credit sequence. You get interested, and then the movie starts, and it's actually in 1999. Again, we're still no. I guess you have to describe it. And we see Ken. How do you pronounce his last name? Watanabe. His character with Sally Hawkins, who I thought was kind of underused in the film. She just seemed to be kind of there to go, oh, this is happening, and she did well and everything, but the character wasn't really, there was not much meat to it, and I think she's a great actress, so it's just, but still, it's a good idea to cast great actors in small roles, I guess. And he was kind of like, and they were investigating this kind of thing that happened, and then we cut to Japan, Bryan Cranston and Juliette Binoche. I thought was a...
Are we not spoiling this movie?
No, we're completely spoiling it.
Well, then we can say that they were investigating a cave which had...
yeah, this huge like skeleton and eggs and...
Massive skeleton, and already then I was like, this is a good like start.
Yeah, it did feel familiar to me, you know, like the helicopter landing and like, oh, the scientist has come, hey, you got to see this. Actually reminded me of Jurassic Park. But familiar is not always bad if it's done well, and it was done well. I thought it intrigued me, got me into it. And then we get to Bryan Cranston, who was odd to see him with hair. It was a bit weird to get used to. There was a cool kind of poster in his son's bedroom. I don't know, I think it was one of like the old Godzilla movies, and that gave me a chuckle.
Really?
Probably the only chuckle I had in the whole movie, so it's worth noting it's a very serious film. And I was surprised because usually these big blockbusters, they have some jokes, and our cat's just being weird. Usually in these big blockbusters they always have jokes and comic relief characters.
Lily!
And Lily! Right, take the bag away.
Just put it there. It's close. It's funny.
Yeah, but it's distracting. Yeah, so they usually have lots of humour in these big blockbuster movies, and this one was really devoured of like any jokes or one-liners or...
I don't remember laughing.
But I kind of enjoyed that because it was just almost refreshing in a way, because it took itself seriously, and you know, it wasn't kind of... I mean, it is entertaining to laugh in those kind of films, and definitely it's great to bring the tension down, but you know, it took itself seriously, and that got you really into it, I think.
I laughed once, but I don't think I was supposed to. I don't remember what made me laugh. But nobody else in the cinema was laughing.
Bryan Cranston's character I thought was very interesting and integral to the film, even though he gets killed off like about 20-30 minutes in. Was not...
Oh yeah, I forgot we were spoiling. I'm like, hey!
Yeah. So yeah, Bryan Cranston's character had a lot of...
Did you say that he lost his wife?
Yeah, well, no, I haven't said that yet, but he loses his wife in this really heavy scene. Probably the heaviest scene in the whole film, actually, I thought.
I thought it was really like...
really emotional and gripping, and he played it...
He is amazing.
Because in that situation, right, and you've probably seen the film, you know, she's running down this corridor, and he's basically, his only thing to do is either save himself and everyone else in the city, or, you know, lock his wife in there to die. And he does it, and she even says to him, just, you know, just shut it.
Well, she was already exposed.
Yeah, well, I mean, that as well.
So she was already dead, kind of.
And just, you know, the stuff's coming, and he hits the thing. And in any normal movie, I think, or just, you know, 9 times out of 10, they'd hit the thing and be like... But he was literally screaming, like, in anguish. And I just...
Was he screaming?
Seriously, he was just, like, proper screaming, you know. And it wasn't like an over-the-top, like, hammy kind of scream. It was a, like, raw, just absolutely devastated kind of primal...
He's just amazing.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He just sold it so well.
I don't know if it's all the lines on his face that makes it more believable, but it's like the older... Especially men in movies, the older they are, like Alfred and Batman, when they're sad, I'm like, oh my god, I feel so bad for him. I thought it was great. He, like, later on as well, he has an emotional, like, he's screaming at them, don't you know what's going on, it's happening again. Yeah,
it's great kind of trailer
I
narration.
deserve to know why my wife died, and I'm like, you do. And then Watanabe is good as well. He's, I don't know.
He was very good.
Inception guy. And it's, I don't know. I just really, really like him because he's like perfect for this role as well.
Yeah, it's great. Kind of, it brought the whole Japanese connection into it, and also they even reference back in 1954, so it was really linked to the original movie, and I love that, and it was faithful to that, and you know, the whole. You know, because I mean, like in Godzilla '98, it was like almost like a completely different monster. In this one, it just seemed more more.
Oh, we
true.
haven't even gotten to Godzilla yet.
No, but
Let's-
Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the son of Bryan Cranston's character. He's the lead of the film. There's been criticisms of him. I thought he was good. Maybe because I thought he was going to be really bad from what I've heard. Maybe I was just pleasantly surprised, but I thought he was good. And I think he's a good actor. I enjoy him in movies that I've seen him in. But
it was weird seeing him without hair and
yeah.
just being grown up, I think.
Yeah, he's really kind of grown into... I mean, he's doing lots of stuff now. He's going to be in Avengers 2 and...
Yeah, and that was
shitty
kind of
movies.
weird because he's playing
Opposite,
Olsen's
Elizabeth
husband.
Olsen. Yeah.
And they're playing sister and brother in a different movie. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, oh,
And here they
isn't
are.
that Olsen? And he's like, yeah.
And here they are getting it on in Godzilla, so...
Well,
Interesting.
we didn't see any like super.
No, but they
action.
were kissing and stuff.
They have kids, so obviously they did once.
Anyway, I thought, because like his character as a kid, you know, his mum died and his dad, you know, he thought his dad was crazy and was, you know, because obviously Bryan Cranston's character, I forget his name, he knew there was something more to this whole, you know, disaster in Japan, but you know his son didn't believe him, and so yeah, the very traumatic childhood from that point on. So it's understandable that he doesn't say much well, he does say stuff, but just parts of it, I guess people could kind of. I don't know what people
I
criticize him.
thought he was good.
He was good. It wasn't
However,
amazing.
he does have massive eyes, and he should learn to use them better.
And eyes are very important to acting.
Yes, but most of the time they're like.
Yeah, that's a fair
He
point.
should show more anger. He should. There's so much
Yeah.
more than he could do.
Yeah,
But
actually,
most
that's a
of
good
the
point.
movie, he just had like not fear, but more like surprise on his face or something.
That is actually a really good point. That's probably, yeah.
If I had eyes like that, I'd act like.
Now that you've said that I can see. But you know, he was okay. He wasn't like fantastic. But
Olsen was better than him.
she was, but I think she's a great actress.
But he was great. And then she also didn't have that many parts, so she had probably had more time to practice those single parts.
I think she
hard to carry a movie.
Yeah, I think she complimented him in the film because like her and his son were kind of integral to him, and because she was acting better, I felt it just whenever we cut back to her, it made us more invested in him, kind of thing. I don't know, that's how I felt.
But seriously, I thought it was great. I think I'm only criticizing him because everybody else is. I didn't notice anything. Nothing about his performances in this movie bugged me at all.
No.
At any point, I never thought like, well, he should be more like this in this situation. I am a lot like that when I watch movies. I'm thinking, okay, that's not a normal reaction to a situation like this. But I think that everything that he did was... Because everybody's different.
Yeah, that is
you
true.
know?
That's
So
true.
just because we would react differently when a ugly, huge alien monster is about to crush you and then kills your dad, you should react differently. But he reacts in his own way as an already traumatized kid, so maybe he doesn't have that many emotions.
That's how I kind of saw it. But anyway, moving
Because
on.
the alien thing, kills Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
Which really sucked.
So
I wanted to see him throughout the whole movie.
I did as well. I kind of heard beforehand that he was like, you know, a glorified cameo. I wouldn't say that. He is an integral part of the film, but he's not in it for that long. But he really made an impact.
Which is why I don't read about movies. I watch them.
So we see this big alien, you know, this thing that we saw kind
That
of like,
Watanabe has been saving.
researching and saving for like 15 years up until 2010, present day, and then it kind of comes to I guess it does. It comes to life and everything, and then it's running rampant, and then we got another one, like a male and a female, one that's got wings and flies, and
The first one is a male with the wings.
and James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd, he did a little kind of review of it, and one of his main criticisms was that the aliens sucked and that they looked very much like other aliens, like in Super 8 and some other films.
I don't remember how those look like, but...
I see his point, but I didn't look at them and think they sucked, you know. But then he's kind of a big monster movie fan, so I guess he's got a lot to kind of measure it up to.
True.
For me, I thought they looked great, you know. I mean, yeah, they weren't like super original. Very, you know, just almost like big kind of beetles with a bit of a
they look like
spidery
big
feel.
cockroaches.
Yeah.
They were ugly, which I think did a lot, because you don't want to cheer for ugly things.
Yeah.
However, Godzilla was kind of cute.
So then Godzilla turns up, and we kind of get the backstory from Ken Watanabe's character. He kind of briefs Aaron Taylor Johnson on the gods of Godzilla. And Godzilla turns up, and it's kind of just like, thinking about it, he does kind of just turn up, doesn't he, Godzilla? And it's like, oh, time for Godzilla to come
No,
into it.
because they did say that there had been talking, like the alien creature had been talking to some other creature, and they thought that it was Godzilla. But then they found out that Godzilla had just been listening, and that he's hunting these alien creatures to restore the balance on Earth.
Yeah, it was kind of like
so
yeah.
The alien thing was really talking to this massive, gigantic female, so that they could make babies. Because she has eggs, and obviously, I didn't get that. When did they mate?
I don't know.
Because really, the alien male really just brought her a bomb, and she's like measuring it to her stomach.
This is like right at the end.
And then she lays her eggs on the bomb. So I didn't get that part, but Godzilla knew about where that thing was.
Yeah.
If he's nuclear and they're nuclear or whatever, I'm sure he can sense them.
Lots of nuclear stuff going on. But
oh, we should mention that part.
What part?
That when Godzilla finally shows up, first of all, he looks like Triple H, because when you finally get to see his face,
it's a big
he's like,
yeah.
you know, like a bull almost, and Triple H is like that in its entrance.
It's a big build-up, and you get glimpses of him, the tail going past buildings, you know, the spikes or whatever on his back.
You just want to see his face.
Yeah, and then we get the big reveal, no music, just drops out, and it's just and then the roar, and it's awesome. Yeah.
And then a fight starts.
Yeah, and he starts fighting one of these aliens, and then it cuts away.
Just cuts.
Now, that didn't bother me. That's another thing. I think we watched James Rolfe's review, and he's like, oh, you know, it cut away from the fighting.
It did bother me a little bit.
No, because this was like near the middle of the movie, so it made me made me anticipate the final battle even more, you know.
Yeah, but this should at least show that the other thing tried to get away, and that Godzilla went after him.
Well, we had glimpses of it on like the TV footage that his son was watching.
That was something else.
And that was making me more tense and more like, you know, I want to see it and I want him, you know,
Yeah. Another thing was that kick-ass dude, what's his name again?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron.
I think it's just Aaron Johnson. I don't know if he's dropped the two.
I'll just say Aaron.
Yeah.
He saved a little Japanese kid on a train, or sort of was taking care of him because he got lost from his mom and dad.
Yeah.
And this train was heading for the airport, I think, or something. It's like an airport shuttle.
It's like a monorail that goes around an airport kind of thing.
An ugly alien kind of
smashes through it.
Yeah, and then the end shot is Aaron hanging off one of the seats, holding the kid.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to Godzilla and ugly alien Muto. Oh, we gotta find out what they're called.
Yeah, anyway. And then it cuts away.
Cuts away. Next scene. Oh yeah, you gotta sign these papers because he found this kid.
Yeah.
It doesn't show how they got out of that thing. It ended with a cliffhanger, almost literally, and poof, they're okay.
I don't know whether it was like a deleted scene or whether it was an artistic choice. I don't know. It didn't bother me at all, really. It was just one of those things.
Well, you said yesterday that kind of bothered you when I mentioned it.
I didn't say it kind of bothered me. I said I hadn't thought about it, and it was kind of weird that it did end like that. But I don't know. It's not enough to really bother me. And
I didn't think about it then. I thought about it after.
And then we have kind of like we got loads of city destruction going on in the movie, and we have like 4 minutes of actual tape left. So
do 2 cuts.
Yeah. So the big final kind of big action sequence was in San Francisco, and
which was their town.
The poor Golden Gate Bridge always gets demolished in all these movies. Oh yeah, and I suppose we should mention like that Godzilla in this film is kind of the hero because he comes in to fight these aliens, but it's not like he's really the hero because he's still kind of smashing through cities and stuff. And
yeah, but without Godzilla, there would be loads of alien babies around.
That's true, but
and Watanabe knew that he wanted to fight them. He was hunting them. Yeah. So if they would just listen to him right away, instead of bombing the poor creature by the bridge, endangering loads of kids' lives, it would have been over like that. You know, just leave Godzilla alone with his little snout. I ended up loving Godzilla, and
every
time he showed up, I was like, yes. I was so happy.
And you kind of likened him to our cat Lily. You're like, oh, it's just like Lily.
He looked cute. Sometimes. Yeah, he's a massive reptile thing, but it was something about his face when Lily's angry or something. She gives like a look and she has the snout. It's just cute.
Yeah.
But I liked him mostly because he wanted to kick the ugly aliens'
And
asses.
he's just badass. So.
He was badass.
Looked great. Looked great in the movie, and it was interesting because towards the end, they had a shot of the two aliens. They finally meet up, and they kind of like snuggle faces a little. It's not really, but
just
it's
like what cats do.
like a greeting kind of thing, and it really like made you look at them as animals and how they're really not doing all this to like. They're not like, let's kill the humans. They're like, this city's in the way, let me just get on with what I'm doing and lay my eggs in it. So it kind of, for me, I wasn't really rooting for Godzilla to kill those evil aliens. I was just like, you know, oh, I hope this ends.
I did once they started attacking him.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah, I guess when they teamed up on him, did like the kind of the handicap match.
Did. She digs her nest right, and then when she's done with that, she comes in to help her hubby, who is getting his ass kicked, what a pussy, by Godzilla because he's a lot smaller and she's bigger, which is kind of weird. Anyways, and then they're just teaming up on him, and they got these sharp things, you know?
Like pincers.
Yes! And they're like stabbing him, and I'm sat like this the whole time, and probably anyone else would think that, oh, this is so scary, but I was like, don't hurt him! It was unfair, and he was on ground, and they were kicking him while he was down. It's not fair. But then, Kick-Ass comes and bombs all her babies, and she's like, what? And she goes to save her babies, but they're all dead. Thank God, because they're probably going to be even more ugly with that combination. And so Godzilla, you know, fucking slams the hubby
slams.
with his tail. He does like, it's almost like a back kick, like a spinning kick.
That was probably the best part of the movie, action wise. It's coming towards him and Godzilla turns around and just swipes him with the tail and just pins him to the building.
And you see the lights go out literally.
There was a couple of people behind us who were like, oh, I could hear them like going, oh, that was awesome.
It was awesome.
And then his the ridge of his, you know, all the spike, they light up and the atomic breath.
That was actually right before the female was about to chew on Kick-Ass because she realized he was the one who killed.
It all happens in the big final battle. We got to cut now because we got no minutes left.
Oh, okay.
We'll come back. Alright, back in the room, the final battle and everything. Just wiping something off the screen.
So Godzilla comes in. And ugly alien creature female is about to kill Kick-Ass. That's not why he comes in, but he wants to kill her, obviously, because his hunting isn't over. And I did not know this because I hadn't seen any of the old Godzilla movies. The only one I'd seen was the '98 one, and there's no reference to him having
the atomic breath.
Yes. So I didn't know. And all of a sudden his tail starts lighting up in blue and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then his whole body's like zoom and then right in her face. And I'm like, yeah! This just became so much more awesome. And so Kick-Ass goes to disarm a bomb or something that was supposed to kill him.
He's like a bomb expert in the movie, and so that was kind of briefly mentioned earlier on, and so...
Because female... Oh! Something happened.
What?
Godzilla got a building on top of him.
Yeah, there's a bit where they kind of teased that he was done, where he's kind of like... He's been attacked by both of these aliens, the pincers have gone in him, and then he fights them off and does all this, and then he's kind of like, almost like, pausing for breath, and the building falls on top of him, and I felt you next to me kind of going, no, like that.
Yeah.
And there was this bit where, like, he falls down, and you see his face, and Aaron Taylor Johnson's character, Ford, is looking at him, they share this kind of moment between, looking at each other. It reminded me of when Yoda dies in Return of the Jedi. There's something about the shape of the face, and him just slowly kind of, it just reminded me of Yoda. Anyway.
He's old.
Yeah, but then he comes back, towards the end and saves the day.
Oh, let me just say this, because it was so amazing, because she came back and she was about to get Kick-Ass again because he has to bomb and she's hungry or whatever.
For the radiation, the nuclear.
Yes, and then Godzilla comes in, and I don't know what he does first, but he grabs her. Yes, she's about to, and then she just stops and it's like, and it's him. And he grabs her jaw and he nuclears the shit out of her down her throat. She was like, and I'm like, oh my god, this is so awesome.
Nuclears. You just invented a word. You're so excited. You just invented a new word.
The blue shit just goes down her and then
rips the head off.
And he's like Triple H all over again. And then I don't know. And then
he falls down again.
The boat goes over and then he falls down. And I'm like, oh no, because at the same time, I'm glad that he killed the aliens, and I feel like, okay, well, at least it's a good ending like that. But the best was when Watanabe was there, wasn't he? And well, Godzilla's supposed to be dead. He's got dust all over him and
this is
stuff.
like the morning after, or like a few hours later. Like the whole battle ends at night, and so it's daytime.
But no, he opens his eyes, gets up, and he just leaves. He doesn't do anything. He might have stepped on a few people, but who cares? And he swims off. Into the abyss.
Yeah, that works.
Oh, there you go. It was awesome. It was really good, but I still just rated a 9.
Yeah, and then Watanabe's character's like, he just
because you can tell like he has some kind of like respect and awe for this creature.
And it goes all the way back to Takeshi Shimura's character in the original Godzilla, one of my favorite actors, and he is like the paleontologist in the original Godzilla movie who doesn't want them to kill Godzilla because, you know, here's this huge creature who's like, you know, predates us all and can survive all this nuclear radiation. We should be studying it, not killing it. And that's kind of what Watanabe's character was. Not completely, but it's along those same veins. And, well...
But he also seemed to care.
Yeah.
It was some kind of respect there, because when he looked at him, it was almost like, oh damn, I can't remember his name. Batman.
Christian Bale?
No, the guy with the glasses. Senator? No.
What?
Come on.
Gary Oldman.
Yes. When he sees the Batman symbol, it's like...
Yeah, at the end of Dark Knight Rises, yeah.
It's almost the same, like,
I guess hope. So, yeah. I don't know why, it just popped into my head, like, Man of Steel from last year. I know that you loved Man of Steel. I didn't get on with it that well, and it's just like you have all this destruction and stuff, and... I don't know. There's the same thing in this movie, but I just didn't feel the same kind of...
It's not like Godzilla cared that he killed a few people.
I don't know.
He just wanted to destroy these aliens. At the same time, he was doing the rest of the world a favor. There is one thing, though. I don't remember if it was in this one.
Okay.
Or if it was in the old one, because I got them mixed up a little bit now.
Okay.
But they made it like, yeah, we gotta fight for our country. And it was all about the States. Completely about America being attacked. Oh. Sure enough, yeah, that's where they ended up first. No, they weren't even there first, were they? Maybe it was in the new one. No, the old one. Because it was like, we're fighting for our country and stuff. What about the rest of the world? If these babies get born, the world is screwed.
You sure you're not thinking of the 98 movie?
It might be.
Because that's very all of Roland Emmerich films are very Americana, kind of, you know.
Okay, yeah, probably. Because it did start up in Tokyo, so... But so did the other Godzilla. Yeah. But there was nothing about the rest of the world or anything.
Yeah.
And, you know... at all in the 98 one. So I guess if that wasn't the case in this one, then they approved that way. But, there was something else. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, I don't know if this is what you're thinking of, but when we watched the trailers after the movie because we loved it so much.
That was what I was thinking of.
We loved it so much, we actually watched the trailer when we got back. I can't remember ever doing that, to be honest with you. And just very quickly...
I watched Gravity after I got
just very quickly, for me, this is my favourite, like, big blockbuster action movie since Dark Knight Rises by far. And Dark Knight Rises is one of my favourite movies of all time. And also... I can't remember the last time I saw a film in the cinema and wanted to watch it again. I really want to watch it like now, you know what I mean? I really want to watch Godzilla again.
The second we left and somebody was showing their tickets to go in, and I was thinking, I wonder if they're going to go see that. And I wanted to turn around and be like, I think I forgot something, and just go back and watch it again.
I think it was actually maybe Pacific Rim, because I saw that with a mate first, and then we watched it a few weeks later, but... I don't know. I just it doesn't often happen. I mean, I've seen lots of great films, you know, lately, like Captain America, Grand Budapest Hotel, but this one I just really want to see again straight away. So I can't wait till it comes out. And yeah, I just loved it so much.
The trailer thing.
The trailer thing. There was a shot of the Statue of Liberty, like the face is kind of half gone. It looks like some of the torch is missing. There's not a single scene in New York, as far as I'm aware. I mean, it all takes place like San Francisco.
It's all on the west side.
There's a scene in Nevada and you know, like the Philippines and Japan, but nothing in New York.
So it's all on the west side.
So there was, I don't know if it's a deleted scene. I mean, I know that in trailers, you know, particularly when you go further back.
It might have been one of the aliens, the flying one.
What do you mean?
The flying alien, because he could fly, he could get there a lot easier.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know whether this is a deleted scene or a shot they didn't use or just a shot they created for the trailer to add more interest, to make it seem more dynamic. But you know, there was no shot of the Statue of Liberty, and it was just it stands out when we watch the trailer. It's like, oh, that wasn't in the film.
For the trailer, it does make it like clear that this is happening in America and stuff, and so showing the Statue of Liberty, that's like as American as it gets. When it comes to...
they probably just shot it and didn't use it. I mean, when someone makes a trailer, they use like all available footage, and sometimes you'll see in trailers they have like different like angles and stuff and different takes sometimes. So
Prometheus as well, actually. In the trailer, she's doing something like that, and that doesn't happen in the movie.
I'm not sure.
I just remember that scene specifically.
I remember a very random thing in the Prometheus trailer where the angle is slightly different in the movie, but that's just getting far too into detail on something that's completely irrelevant. But
sometimes they do it differently.
Yeah. Anyway, so that was something that stood out afterwards. But yeah, we loved it. It was great.
Godzilla.
Yeah.
One thing I was expecting though, since I saw it in the '98 movie, and I still remembered that before I watched it again today, was that one of the eggs were still intact in the '98 movie.
Yeah.
And I was kind of expecting them to go like zoom
I'm glad they didn't.
on the egg.
I'm glad they didn't, because it's very predictable. It's stock at this point, and just the fact that
I'm glad that he got up.
Yeah, I mean,
because now you know that he still exists.
The director Gareth Edwards has said that he really didn't want this film to be a kind of a reboot for a series. He didn't want it to end on like what's going to happen next, or you know, where can this go. He wanted it to be like its own film with a definitive ending. And
but they're already making a sequel.
Yeah, from what we've heard, but I mean, and that makes sense because it's been a huge success.
It would be stupid not to.
Everyone's been talking about it. I can't remember people talking about the film this much since the Avengers, in terms of
the Avengers versus Godzilla.
Hulk versus Godzilla. But yeah, like in terms of all the people I know in the movie community, on YouTube, and just in general, and also just general people I know on Facebook, everyone's going to see Godzilla. It's really become I don't know whether if they've really promoted it well or just I don't know what it is, but it seems to really have captured something where everyone's going to see it, and it's made like almost $200 million in the first few days worldwide. So that's really, really good, and a good sign for the franchise. And yeah, I love the music as well. Alexandre Desplat, one of my favourite composers of today. I think he did a great job with the score. Nothing like really memorable like a Jurassic Park or Jaws theme, but the music consistently throughout added to the movie and made it just more, you know. I'm sure with repeated viewings I'll kind of pick up bits I remember, but...
Or you could just listen to it on Spotify I do.
Yeah, you always listen to the film subjects. So there we go, that was our massive, super long, just in-depth discussion on Godzilla. Feel a lot better about this one. And yeah, anything else you can think of to add about this, really? Oh yeah, just because of the two aliens, they were kind of greeting each other, and it was almost like very animalistic and stuff. For me, the ending felt very kind of, it was melancholic, because it was like, it wasn't like, yes, the hero beat the bad guys and everyone's happy. It was like, okay, these animals clashed, you know, one of them won, and you know, it's just a good thing that more people didn't die and stuff like that. It was just, I just liked how it wasn't a typical good guy beats the bad guy. It was more of a complexity to it, because I didn't feel like, oh, those evil aliens, kill them. I felt like, well, they're kind of just doing what they do. And obviously, as you said, later on you kind of root for Godzilla, but
I rooted for him. It wasn't
as black and white as that for me. So I enjoyed how that was complex and not just straightforward. But I would give it a 9 out of 10, I think, as well.
It's the same thing in the '98 one, isn't it? He just wants to lay his eggs.
Yeah, I
He
think...
didn't go into the town to destroy humans. He just wanted to have a place to nest.
I think that's probably the best thing that was done in the '98 movie. They did actually treat that with some reverence, and Matthew Broderick's character was like identifying with it. But again, his character wasn't written that well. It's not a great film, but I think they did at least treat that with. It was actually really sad, the '98 Godzilla, because they tie him up in the bridge, tangle him up in the Brooklyn Bridge, and just blow the shit out of him.
Yeah, I'm sad in the end.
Yeah, it was.
And then the heartbeat, goom goom.
Oh,
And you can see the light just...
Oh, yeah.
It's really sad.
It is quite sad. So
they have a hell of a cleaning up job to do, though, in San Francisco, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
2 massive aliens and all that destructions.
Yeah.
But at least they get to test on them, and then maybe there's a big barbecue.
I thought the CGI was like really good, actually, and complimented the practical stuff, but one random thing I noticed was when the aliens was like jumping on a building to get to somewhere else, instead of just like landing on it and it kind of crumbling a little, it was actually just like it landed and then the building started collapsing, kind of.
Yeah,
just
it
slightly.
was realistic.
It was really. It made you think about the weight of it, and just it made you believe in it more, kind of thing.
Not like in Godzilla '98, where he actually walks through a building and the building is still standing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, it's a cool visual effect, isn't it? I'm like, oh, come on. Really? Also, the bridge would never stand for that long.
In James Rolfe's review, actually, his main criticism was that they overused something big's about to happen, we're going to see Godzilla, oh, we cut away, oh, we just see it through a window, oh,
Yeah, which we didn't really talk about, how we see them a lot through windows and on TV screens a lot. And that kind of annoyed me at some point because I wanted to see more, but it was clever because you do want to see more. And
I don't think
I'm guessing it would be less work digitally.
Yeah, I was saying when we first filmed this that I'm sure that it's more of an artistic choice to kind of just build the tension and make you want to see more, but at the same time it doesn't hurt that it's going to cost less money to not have those big shots and stuff. So it works both ways, I think, because James Rolfe said he thought it was overdone. I didn't. I thought it was. I loved the fact that it kept teasing me and just kept teasing me. I
thought it was balanced well.
Yeah, I really did think it was. So yeah, I was quite surprised. I thought it would probably be like an 8 out of 10 for me, but I was actually really impressed. So.
Which made it a 9 out of 10 for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definite 9. I think that's it, really. We've been talking for so long now, I've just kind of shut down a bit. Anything else?
I something else that when you said I thought that effect was really cool, how the aliens could shut down electronic
Yeah, they had like an
equipment.
EMP kind of shockwave.
And that was
such
an amazing effect, because I really love that in the cinema, especially if the sound is really good.
The sound was
awesome.
The sound was fantastic in the film.
And then the whole cinema is kind of like rumbling a little bit, and you can feel the bass kind of shaking you.
Yeah.
And that makes me like, oh, I feel like I'm part of this movie, for a second. And that happened quite a lot. And how planes were dropping, and then the parachuting scene as well was really cool from a distance. Great
POV shot of Ford's perspective as he's skydiving down into the city, and we just see Godzilla slowly through his point of view. It was a really cool shot. I like that.
A lot of cool shots.
A lot of cool shots.
I can't wait to see it again and just try not to focus on the story, but focus more on how artistic the whole thing is.
Yeah.
Because I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's
not that many plot holes either, as I can remember.
Not from one thing towards the end, obviously Godzilla travelled through the Golden Gate Bridge, so it's kind of split in half. Near the end with the big fight, the EMP thing hits, all the lights and electricity go out around the whole area. When it comes back on, all the lights on the Golden Gate Bridge come across, even though it's split through the middle, and I would have thought, surely there's some connection there that would have just kind of broken or something.
Maybe not. Maybe the connection is from each side.
I don't know. I suppose. But that was it, really. So thanks for watching. If you have watched this far, I mean, at 17 minutes, I think we were going for like over 20 before, so this is like a ridiculous, probably one of the longest reviews we've ever done, but what the hell.
But it is for 3 movies.
Kind of, yeah. I guess so. So, yeah, we loved it. We'll probably be doing another review in a couple of weeks with a new X-Men movie, which we're looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, that's it.
Let's just do all 6 movies before that, and then this one, and then...
I don't think we could do that because we watched all of them last year before the Wolverine, so it's still too fresh for me to go back and watch all the other X-Men movies.
I know, I'm not saying we should watch them.
But talk about them.
Talk about it and compare them to the new one.
That's true. Okay.
Just make it a 1-hour review.
Yeah, why not? Okay, I mean, I always do like long videos, so why can't you be in a long video with me as well? I'm just surprised that you could put up with it and for that long, but I guess you were that excited about the movie.
I'm surprised that I could get this excited for a second time.
Yeah, I really thought you wouldn't be that in, because again, yesterday I don't know, I was just being an idiot, wasn't I? Worrying about the video going on too long. And here we are at the end of a ridiculously long video.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
We're about to post a fucking 2.5 hour, probably 24-hour movie marathon video, so length and is always an issue on this channel. And as Batista would say, deal with it.
Could believe you quoted him.
Me either. That's terrible. Let's end this video right now. Thanks for watching.
Godzilla.
He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool. Even though I'm sure he's a quite nice guy, really. He's a quite nice guy, really.
I said to my mate Alex on Facebook afterwards, he said, what do you think? And I said, I'm not impressed with Heisenberg dying again. Oh, I just spoiled Breaking Bad. I'll cut that bit out.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'll put this at the end and just warn it. Anyway, right.